have this little trick to help with stress when it comes to grades. I'm always someone who gets really stressed about grades, and at the end of the day I realize no matter how much stress and anxiety and anger I felt after receiving a grade that wasn't as high as I expected, the grade doesn't change. You feel all the stress, you feel all the anger, the grade's going to stay the same regardless. I like distributing points a specific way so that I don't necessarily have to stress too much about one specific grade. I more focus on my overall grade. And basically how it works, the perfect example of this is every class you generally have 1 or 2 papers, a midterm, and a final. So let's say you have a midterm, a final, and a paper. You get the first paper back, and you really were hoping for an A. You end up getting a B, maybe it's an 85. So most people, if you're really, really needing that A, you'd feel really stressed that you got the 85, because you know at the end of the day you need to have an A. So for me, instead of freaking out about the 85, I kind of rationalize the point system, and I think as long as the next thing that I'm doing, which would be the midterm, as long as I get a high enough A on the midterm, I can distribute some of those points over to my B to create an A and still maintain the A from the midterm. So basically I get an 85 on the paper. Then I study really hard for the midterm because I know I didn't do as well on the paper as I should have. So on the paper I get an 85, on the midterm I get a 96. So from the 96, I can take 6 of those points, add them to my 85 on the paper. I now have a 91 on the paper and a 90 on my midterm. So for me, I have an A in the class and I got 2 A's. So it's just a helpful thing I do to kind of even out points. Helps you study better for the next things that you're doing. Helps you realize that it's not that big of a deal, 1 grade, because the whole thing total is kind of what you make of it. If you study enough for the midterm, study enough for the final, you can have enough points to take and add over to the grade that you weren't so happy with.